On today's episode, this drill is a piece of junk, but it's a piece of junk with potential. Hang tight, y'all. This is a Craftsman 20 volt, like bottom of the line entry drill. I got it 2.5 years ago to use for my job, which it doesn't get used much, maybe once a month, and it's very light duty. It's nothing industrial or anything, really strenuous that I put this thing through. And last week, I was removing a 3-inch wood screw from a shipping crate, and it blew out the clutch. Now, for those of you who don't know, the clutch is this little mechanism here. Say you're doing something and you don't want to totally strip out the heads of your screw. You set it for about 3 or 4. And when it hits any kind of resistance, it'll kind of shut it to a stop. But if you just want to go full tilt, you crank it all the way down, it should just keep going no matter what. It'll strip out your screw heads and your bit and whatever. But as you can see, you go, it's not gripping at all. So fortunately, Craftsman does have a very good warranty. Now it's only 3 years, and it's a good thing I saved a copy of my receipt, because within a week, I got my replacement drill sent to me, courtesy of Craftsman. Same drill. Hopefully it lasts another 2 years and 6 months so I can perpetually just keep cashing in on the warranty, if that's how it works. I mean, it might go by original date of purchase. Who knows? But anyway, this is useless as a drill. It really can't be rebuilt like older drills. That's why I hang on to all my old DeWalt drills. The new ones, the brushless ones, you can't do anything with those either. All these brushless drills, they're just made to be disposable. But the older ones, you can actually buy the brushes and take it apart, replace it, lube up the motor, and you're good to go for a while. These, on the other hand, are just badge engineered. Black & Decker bought the Craftsman name from Sears when they went under and just slapped this on, a low-end model drill they kind of, threw together. Threw together. I can't speak this morning. I need to have more coffee. Hang tight.
You'll get a cup and a half of flavor, a cup and a half of flavor in every cup.
There, that's better. I'm more awake now and I can actually see in 3 dimensions. But let me get back to this guy. There's nothing we can really do about this, but we have a battery that's rechargeable and we have a variable controller right here. So you're thinking, what's the most logical thing we can do with this? Well, duh. Let's strap on a 70-year-old fire engine siren onto it. That's right. We're going to make a portable noisemaker, because why not? I found this at an estate sale, probably close to 10, 15 years ago. Got it for like $5. I forgot the name brand of it, but I remember researching it online, and yeah, they go for quite a bit. It was in rough shape. It was rusted out, so I kind of stripped the rust off of it and I painted it. And over the years, it's seen better days. But I actually kind of kept this around my workshop just to make noise. And here are the leads off of it. It's made to run off of 12 volts because it's supposed to go on a fire engine. And I would just hook up a little 12 volt power supply or something like that. Give, something with some amperage behind it to turn this little wheel or whatever is in there that makes the noise. And it works fine. It's nice and loud. Now, I've seen what they call train horns or truck horns mounted on drills. You've seen them pop up in ads all over the place. And, they're anything but train horns or 18-wheeler horns. I mean, you really can't get that nice, just tremendous sound without using like an air compressor or something behind it. This guy was made to just run straight off of like 12 volts. So what we're going to do is take the top off of this, put this on top of here. 20 volts, it may be a little overkill, but I don't think it's going to short this thing out. I mean, we're not using it continuously. At least we don't think I should be using it continuously, but you never know. Circumstances change. I might need to just annoy the hell out of somebody for a while. But, this thing looks nice and robust, made back in the days when things were built to last. Not this one. So, first things first, let's get rid of this drill part here. See if we can just get this out the way and leave the power cables coming out exposed. And I mean, theoretically, we just interface it with these two, kind of hook them together somehow, solder probably, mount this somehow. But this is a really large base compared to the base on this. Maybe we can take this off. I don't know. I'm just winging it, folks. So yeah, let's get to stripping this guy down. Got the drill part disassembled. I had to take the chuck, open it wide up, remove this retaining screw, which is down at the bottom. Now it's a backwards thread, so counterintuitive. You had to tighten it down to remove it, which is weird, but whatever. Once that's out, I had to tighten this back down, like close it up, put an Allen wrench in there, and then put the drill, I guess, in reverse all the way as much as it'll go, and then knock the heck out of it a couple of times with a hammer to loosen it off of this shaft here. And once that's screwed off, we're left with some retaining clips here that held the clutch controller wheel. I guess that's what it's called. I don't know. That's what I call it. Remove that from the clutch assembly here. And this is what shit the bed on this drill. I hear some plastic rattling around in there. It looks like it's cheap plastic. And I guess maybe you could replace that. I don't know if this part here is part of that clutch assembly, but they just sent me a new one. So I'm not going to try and repair this. Even if I try to, if I ordered the spare part, what's the use of owning two mediocre drills, whatever. So I clipped the power cables going to the motor. So these are back in here, and just kind of had to unscrew these screws, pry it open a little bit, and it just kind of fell out. Now I was hoping this part here was separate from the handle, but it's not. It's all actually molded one piece. It just looks like it might be. So I'm going to have to break out the old Dremel tool or Sawzall or jigsaw or something. Just give a nice straight cut across here to make a nice flat mounting base for the siren. So let me hack this sucker off and get back to you. I was able to get the top lopped off. Look at that. In the trash it goes. Anyway, if you look at it, this thing is very asymmetrical, and this thing is very cheap. I mean, this plastic is, not very sturdy, and even with the battery, there's not much weight to it. And that's going to be kind of awkward when we get this guy mounted on top of it, because this is about 3 or 4 pounds of solid iron. So what I'm going to have to do is kind of fabricate an adapter plate to go from this to this, because you can see the difference in the width of the base. Narrow here, chunky there. So I'm going to take a little planning on that one. Also, I need to get a transformer. I was doing some more research on these things and looking at some forums for guys who collect these and all. And I'm not the first one to have this idea. And they were saying, look, you get a buck transformer, like a DC to DC. It's something that'll handle at least 20 amps, and slap it in between. That way, when you squeeze it full throttle, you're not going to burn this motor out, because, these are probably irreplaceable, and these are actually quite valuable, even in this condition. So I don't want to ruin that either. I don't want to do any, mods to this part here at all. I want to keep this totally stock. This, I don't give a shit about. This one, I do. And while, I've got this, before I put it on, I got the covers off, and you can see the motor assembly right here, and innard right here. This is what spins and makes the noise. This is, like I said, it's seen better days. So I'm gonna go probably Scotch Brite this guy, just put a rough coat on it and a few more coats of red on it to kind of get it back to, I mean, it's not going to be in mint condition anymore. I really don't know if, I don't think this was the all chrome version. I think it was originally red. And yeah, that's what it looks like on the inside here, at least. It's hard to tell. There was no nameplate. It should have been like right here where these two screws were with the model number and the voltage rating, but that's gone. So another thing too, these came in two models, a 6-volt and a 12-volt. And when I first got it, just to be sure, I did do a little research years ago. I found a 6-volt little like battery pack thing, and I tried to spin it with this, and it barely moved. Put a 12-volt on it, bam, like a champ. It didn't rev up super high pitch. It was a normal tone. So I'm assuming this is the 12-volt. So we'll just go with that. So I'm not gonna burn this thing out with the buck transformer. So yeah, that's the next step. Adapter plate, transformer, repaint, mount. So I'll be back with an update. I got the converter in. It's a big chunky heatsink thing. It's really nice. I'll throw the link down below. Actually, it came with these nice quick connectors going from the battery and then going out to the whatever device you want to use. I have my meter plugged into it so I can show you when we fire it up. Instead of 20 volts, now we have 12.35. It's a little higher than 12, but then there's no load on it, so it's going to be a little bit higher. So we got that taken care of. I was thinking about an adapter plate, but I had this lying around, this old gang box, and it would fit the converter inside perfectly. Now it has a hole punched in it. The wires can come in and out, actually can come up from underneath, but it would be like that. Oops, if it would stay, you have to strap that in. And then the siren up top, this whole thing, let me zoom out a little bit, it would be very bulky. I mean, it might be the only way to do that. It's going to look ghetto as hell, but I'll try. I mean, all the parts are here. It should work right now. I mean, if I didn't care how it looked, we'd slap it together and throw duct tape on it or something. So I don't know. We'll give this a try. Still have to repaint that. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's been overcast and humid and storming the last 2 days or so. So now it's nice and dry and sunny. I think I'll tackle that today and maybe kind of route this through and see what we've got. I'd fire the siren up, but it's like 9 in the morning, and I don't think my neighbor right next door would appreciate a fire engine siren going off this early. So let me get to work. This thing ain't going to finish itself. And we're back. I kind of forgot where I left off on the last scene, and quite frankly, I'm just too lazy to go back and review the footage because work has been really crazy, and it's been a week or two since I had a chance to really work on this. Not that this is a lot of effort, but you take what you can get. I took that gang box and I painted it. Actually, I had to get a different one. I had to get a little deeper one because this heat sink and the connectors were not fitting very well, along with the screws that I used to attach this to a mount that fits on top. The transformer is nice and snug in there. It just kind of sits in there. I mean, I'm not going to be shaking this all around like an idiot because it's going to weigh too much. So it just kind of sits in there. And these quick connects, I really like these. I'm going to see if I can get like, not a bulk of them, like maybe a dozen or so. These are great just for like testing out things instead of having like wire nuts all over the place. And we use wire nuts. If you use stranded cable, stranded wire, it gets all frayed and everything. This is nice and simple, and yeah, I'm all about simple. So this is ready to go here. This is all nice and repainted. My dogs are going nuts because I think either a neighborhood dog or a cat's walking in front and they got to keep us protected. But this is nice and repainted, shiny, red. The weather was real cooperative for rattle can painting, which is rare down here in Louisiana, which the conditions you need for optimal spray painting are like maybe 50 to 70 degrees, low humidity, and a strong enough breeze to keep gnats and other bugs from landing on it, but not too strong to where it blows dirt and leaves on it. So it was very, very cooperative. Next step is going to be just to clip the wires in, set it on top, and put the screws in, and wait a few hours till I know my neighbors are up, so I don't wake them up because it's like 6:30 in the morning right now. Not early for me, too early for them, and I want to be a good neighbor. So yeah, let's get this hooked up, and I'll be right back, and we can do a final test on this and play around with it. Behold, yeah, it looks ghetto as hell, but you know what? It works. And that was just a small little test. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so hopefully neighbors next door are up. If not, they will be. I'm going to cut to another clip in case I have to edit the volume down in post. When this thing screeches up, it might blast out my microphone. So hang tight. Yeah, that was loud. Very loud. The neighbors aren't up yet. They are now. Anyway, the Annoyatron 8000 here, it does the job. Looks like hell, but it works. I mean, what more could you want? Now, I know they do make kits. If you look up drill horn, they have things where you take off the drill assembly and you plug in some, it's like a small air compressor or something like that, I guess, and it runs like 2, 3, maybe 4 little air horns. And I guess that's good, but that's also expensive. I mean, it's $100 to $200, $300, $400 I've seen them. I mean, really pricey. This was a few bucks at an estate sale. This was free. This was $397 at Home Depot. So do the math. Oh yeah, the buck converter was like $12 on Amazon. So a couple of bucks in. But you know what? The annoying factor is just as high as the $200 horns. So all in all, it's a nice little project. So if you've got an old busted drill and a fire engine siren or any kind of horn that really runs on 12 volt, you could use a car horn really. Harbor Freight used to sell them brand new. I mean, a pair of them for like, I don't know, $25. Or you're feeling adventurous, go to Pull Apart or some other junkyard that lets you go in there and, take your stuff out of the vehicles. Go ahead, pull a car horn on it. Just get like a 24 volt to or anything to like 12 volt that can handle like 20 amps. Throw it in there. And yeah, you got a nice noise maker for next to nothing. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you sticking it out, watching this video. I appreciate you watching all my other videos too. That last one about the Raspberry Pi running Mini DX, somehow it's got like 21,000 views. I have no idea what happened with that one. Somebody must have linked it. But anyway, I'm very appreciative for all the views and comments that came out of it. Sorry this wasn't a synthesizer-based one. This is one of my dumb little mad science projects that I will do from time to time. Anyway, maybe another keyboard video after this. Who knows? It's whatever I find on a junk pile next. That being said, you guys take it easy.